I'm not a makeup person per se, so take everything with a grain of salt. Without further ado, here I go. I'm gonna do just like very basic, everyday kind of makeup. The first thing I'm gonna use is this lotion from Dermalogica. It's called Skin Smoothing Cream, powered by Active Hydra Mesh Technology. That's the name, I guess. This is what I'm using right now just because it's nice lotion, and I've had a really hard time finding lotions that I like for my face. Dermalogica makes a lotion that also has SPF in it. That's like my favorite thing to use, but I don't have it right now, so I'm using this. Next, I'm using this NYX BB cream. It's just in the lightest shade that they have. So I like this BB cream because it's very lightweight. After I put it on, I feel like it kind of evens out my skin without it looking like super coated, which is fine. If you want to look super coated, go for it. For me at least, like it achieves that kind of no makeup kind of look. I kind of layer it onto my nose because my nose is like almost always red. I don't know if it's like flushed or sunburn, because I get sunburnt like the second I walk outside. I'm not sure if laying it on is actually a good idea. Like who knows, maybe I'm actually making the problem worse, but that's what I'll do. So sometimes at this point I'll put on my like powder foundation, but if I'm feeling like I don't feel like putting on a lot of makeup, I'll just go straight into like it's not bronzer and it's not really contouring powder. This is powder foundation that I got that is too dark for me, so I use it as a contoury, bronzery kind of thing. Find like your cheekbone, and then right underneath it there's like a little hollow spot. This is like cheekbone, and then underneath there's like hollow, so that's where I put this, and then I kind of just bring it forward along like under where my the middle of my eye is. I just try to go like pretty light so that it doesn't look like makeup, it's just like makeup. So again, you find the cheekbone and then the hollow spot underneath. What you're creating when you contour is like a shadow, or like you're exaggerating a shadow. So the shadow is going to be more shadowed back here because it's, you know, going into your head. So when you're looking at your face, the shadow would be darkest back here. I really try to focus more on back and then just lightly bring it forward. I do it up here, but just lightly again. All of this, very light. I'm doing kind of like little circles, but kind of not. Look, my nose is already red. Ugh. So here I'm just kind of bringing the shadowy thing again with the contoury, shadowy contoury, just to kind of bring it and fade it. I try to make everything like very blended, so if I make a mistake, I don't think there's really mistakes in makeup. Like, you do whatever you want, that's great. But like if I do something, for instance, that maybe I don't totally love, if I kind of blend a lot, then I won't notice it as much. So since my nose has started getting red again, I think I will actually put on a little bit of foundation on my nose. My foundation is currently in this plastic bag. This is how I get it on my brush. I don't even open it anymore. It's like this because like I dropped it or whatever, so it's cracked, so now it just everywhere. So that looks a bit better, I think. Okay, so with my brush that I use for blush, wow, that's hard to say. With my brush that I use for blush, I just kind of and then dust it off, because you don't want it to be really heavy-handed, I guess. I mean, again, like I said, you do whatever you want. If you want it to be like really thick, then don't dust it off. So here I go more like where I might put a highlighter. So I'm just lightly dotting it. And then I usually will kind of do these little circles after I've dotted it. I've been doing it like a little bit on the top of my nose too, to look like sun-kissed. Now I'm gonna do eyebrows. I used to have black eyeliner, but I've run out and I don't feel like getting more. I want to actually try and make some makeup, so I'm using what I got for now. So one is like dark brown, the other is light brown. So okay, a thing that I learned about the eyebrows is that if you want to do like naturally kind of looking eyebrows, you do the darkest part like at the end, and then you kind of like make it lighter as you go in. I'm gonna take the darker one just because I'm feeling like I want darker eyebrows. So you have your brush, your whatever this is, pencil, and you start like back here rather than starting up at the front. That's kind of what I'm gonna do. Very light, very minimal. You can hardly even tell a difference. I know like a lot of people, when they do their eyebrows, they have a brush that's like really good at doing those little lines to mimic eyebrow hairs, but I don't have one that's really nicely sharpened. This is like kind of dull. I try to sharpen it, but it doesn't get super sharp. And again, like I said, like I don't want to buy a new product when I have one. So what I do, especially for this part, I use the pencil on its side. Just kind of lightly color on top of the hairs. Okay, and then you take a mascara brush, it's clean, kind of like work in what you just colored. Now I'm gonna do my eyes. Truthfully, these makeup brushes, I should have washed them, but I'll just dust it off. I do wash them way more frequently than I used to. I'm gonna use this cute Val-free makeup. It's like adorable. Little lady. Look at all those. What are those? They're eye makeup. So my favorite color to use thus far, I've been using Lilium. I think they're flower names. I'm just getting a little bit of it on my brush. I really don't like wasting makeup, so when I tap it, I try to tap so it just falls right back in so I can use it again. So with this, I'm just gonna kind of put it all over lightly, and then I'm gonna like go in more darkly in a bit. So little circles to blend. So now I try to take about the same amount for the other eye. So for eye makeup, I heard the same kind of thing where you want this shadow to like go towards the end. So just keeping that in mind as I'm doing whatever I'm doing. This originally was like a contouring palette, but I just use the brown now for eye makeup. Tap, tap, get off the excess. And yes, I'm using the same brush. I know, it's bad. I feel like it's okay if you use the same brush if the color is like darker. Maybe that's like bad makeup etiquette, but it's what I'm doing. When I do like the part that kind of adds definition, I start like close to the lashes on the eyelid, and then I travel like back here, and then I go up into the crease of the eye. So it's kind of like a C. And this part is the fun part, because you're gonna kind of go whoa, 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 whoa. Like if your eye is shaped like mine. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then I usually try and kind of light circles, especially over here, because I don't want any like harsh lines anywhere. That looks pretty decent. And I'm just doing this again, and then going at the bottom and then doing like a C shape-ish. I don't know, maybe it's more of a V, half of a W, and then and then little circles, blending it in, especially on the outer area. Gosh, my bangs are real long. I don't even need eye makeup. My bangs are my eye makeup. So with a littler brush, also, it was used with black, it looks like, maybe even green. Gosh. Sorry. Use clean brushes. I mean, do whatever you want, really. But I know that like bad things can happen if you use dirty brushes, but okay, it's not that dirty. It's not that dirty. So I'm tapping it onto the one that I did over all of my eyes, the Lilium. Tapping out the excess. Okay, so this part, I'm gonna do it on the under eye. I'm just gonna kind of do like the middle and then over. onto the eyelash curler. You look down, you put your eyelashes in the scary looking mechanism, and then you hold it. I kind of pump it. I don't know if there's like science behind pumping it or not. And then, wow. I mean, that is quite drastic, the difference. Look at that. Wow. And again. Now I'm putting on mascara. This is by Tarte. I don't know how to, I'm supposed to know how to pronounce things. The key thing for mascara putting on edge tip is hold the brush still and then move your eyelash, not your hand, because then you won't get as much gunk everywhere. So holding it and then I twirl it, but I don't move it. Everybody's always says, like, you know, to really get it in there and kind of wiggle around and then roll it up. You want it thick at the bottom. Now next side. That's decent. This is my last step. It's lip gloss. From, again, a name I don't know how to really pronounce. Glossier. I'm not sure. Actually, I might put on some eyebrows, eyelashes, what was I gonna say? Freckles. Here's my secret tip to doing freckles. A bobby pin and some brown lipsticks. You can have as many colors as you want, but for like natural looking, start with a light color, and with your bobby pin, you just like tap where the liquid is. So you just get the top, and then I go where I already have natural freckles. Go till you run out, and you tap it again. Main thing is just don't worry too much. Like if they're different sizes and whatnot, that's fine. That's like more natural looking. And then you go in with your other color. So after you have the dots, then with your little fingers, you just kind of tap around to kind of blend them in. And then it also kind of populates the freckles out because your fingers will have the makeup on them. So then when you touch down in a new place, they'll get more freckles. And there you have it. Okay, I think that's actually the actual end. The end.